film these parts this week.
Are you able to do it like Thursday night?
Yeah, I can film some of the parts Thursday night. Yeah. How are you? Do you want me to like? Do you want to like be there yourself in person? Like you be on one side of the screen and I be on the other side, or like do you want me to screen record it, or you plan on screen recording it, or?
Um, Either one, but yeah, I think we should do it like in real time.
These last few weeks have been quite something. It feels crazy. It's been over a month already since they shut down school at Loyola and moved all the classes online. And essentially, pretty much multiple states started locking down or closing down. Pretty soon, at least one of them will be opening back up to some extent, not 100%, but some kind of openings. So, in regards to class, all classes have been moved online, including ones that are more production heavy. And having to take those classes online that are more production focused, where you can't meet up as a group, or it's harder to do things physically because some of these classes are more physical, it feels very straining. It feels demoralizing. It feels frustrating. At the beginning, I found myself watching a lot of news media, and looking back on that, I kind of wish I watched less of it or listened to less of it. But it's also hard to do that at times in the moment because like you want to like try and learn as much as possible. You want to try to keep up to date as much as possible. But there also comes a point where there's just like too much of an overload as well. And so with that being said, I have over time I have tried to avoid not avoid but like watch less of it or listen to less news or read less news. And I think I've done good with that so far. But that being said, I still find myself at times tuning in. And I'm not saying you shouldn't tune in at all. Like there should be at least maybe a moment in the day where you tune in for like an hour or two. But then after that, it starts to wear you. It may start to wear you out a bit, and maybe it's best to tune it off. Whenever I go outside, I wear a face mask. I understand that in the beginning, the CDC said that face masks were not necessary unless you were infected, but I never fully agreed with that. And I think this part of the reason why the CDC even said what they said to begin with was because they were trying to conserve medical equipment, face masks, and other PPE, protective equipment for healthcare workers and first responders, which is understandable. That being said, though, if you did have a mask, I don't see why you couldn't have worn a mask. And some people did. I was one of them. And now the CDC recently also changed their guidelines and are suggesting that people definitely wear a mask or try to wear a mask no matter what, which is something I thought should have been done from the beginning. And that's why I've been trying to wear masks ever since this pandemic broke out, and to just go out with a mask as much as possible. This whole situation has been overwhelming. There's been times where the fear of the unknown can really get to you. Like, is this virus on this piece of mail that I got out of the mailbox? Is this virus on this grocery bag that I got in? Is it on this plastic packaging or a can packaging that I get from this store? This whole experience has been more of a challenge for me than I expected it to be. I I found it hard to go outside a lot. I found it hard to want to do things initially. So I started using Grubhub for the first time, and I still use it to some extent, but it is a bit pricey. So I found myself now going out and like getting carry out more often now than I initially was doing. Saves a little bit of money that way. I've been getting carry out from a lot of local businesses because local businesses are the ones that are struggling the most. Unfortunately, there are multiple local businesses that have closed down temporarily, hopefully, around me. Very unfortunate. I was surprised by a couple of them. Some of them were initially staying open. They were doing the curbside pickup or the delivery, but I guess that it either was a matter of just too much money to keep open, or it was a matter of health that they decided to close down. But those that still are open to some degree, that could still have carry out or delivery to some degree, I still get from those from time to time. Like, I got this pizza right here. While understandable, it was also disappointing to see that some of the local businesses were closed. I feel bad for the employees who've been laid off and they're struggling right now. You know, it's such a rough shift. I understand that there's a lot of people that are very frustrated and upset with the situation, and for good reason. You know, their livelihoods have just been taken away from them like that because of this pandemic. I like to hope that the country can get back on top of things as soon as possible. My name is Bo, and I am telling you some of my experiences I have had so far with this pandemic.